I am Dr. Jitin, and today we'll discuss the basics, structures, and the sequence in which a chest X-ray should be approached. A sequence or order is used so that we do not miss anything or miss any finding. So before going into the sequence of chest X-ray reading, first discuss the type of chest X-rays. So the chest X-rays are basically of three types: PA, the posterior-anterior; AP, the anteroposterior; and lateral chest X-ray. So posterior-anterior chest X-ray, the PA, is the commonly used chest X-rays because that decreases the exaggeration of the heart shadow, whereas AP, the anteroposterior, is used in ICU and bedridden patients, and lateral view is used to get a 3D image with the PA view to see behind the heart and the mediastinum. So today we will discuss basically the PA view. So then how to hold or present X-ray, chest X-ray. So chest X-ray should be held as a person is standing in front of you. The chest X-ray should be held as a person is standing in front of you, or it simply means in the anatomical position. That is, the right of the X-ray should be towards your left. Okay. So now what is the sequence in which the chest X-ray is read? So the usually followed sequence is the A, B, C, D, E, F order. English alphabets A, B, C, D, E, F order. So here let's see what is the sequence. So the A stands for the airway. So here in the chest X-ray, you know that in chest X-ray there are three airways: the trachea, right and left bronchuses. So there is trachea and right and left bronchuses. So usually only the trachea would be very prominent and would be visible. So here is the trachea. So here is the trachea. And in some X-rays you can also go down and mark the right and left principal bronchuses. So the first structure that you should identify and examine is the trachea in the airway. A for airway, the trachea. Then B, the alphabet B stands for bones. So in chest X-ray we can also visualize bony structures. So B for bones, and the bony structures include the clavicle. So you can mark the right and left clavicle, okay, on the X-ray. You will mark the clavicles, and in the clavicle you should see for the spacing whether there is any fracture or not in the whole length of the clavicle. And in chest X-ray you can also examine the scapula. Here the scapula is not visible, but a scapula would also be visible in good X-rays. Then the ribs. So we have the anterior ribs and the posterior ribs. So the posterior ribs are the horizontal ribs. Here are the posterior ribs. So these are the horizontal ribs. The posterior ribs would be more easily seen. Okay, the posterior ribs. And the anterior ribs would be at a 45-degree angle. The anterior ribs would be at a 45-degree angle. Okay, so you should examine the ribs for any fractures, abnormalities, or some lytic lesions. Then in the bones, the third thing is the spinous processes. So in good X-ray we can visualize here we can see the spinous processes, the vertebrae. So it is not much visible here. So you can also make out the spinous processes and examine the spinal processes for some lesions or some disc abnormality, any spinal diseases, etc. Okay, this is all about B. Then C stands for cardio and the mediastinum. So you should mark the borders of the heart. So the left border, the right border. Then you can also mark the chambers of the heart. So we have the chambers. So we have the left ventricle, then we have the right ventricle, then the right atrium. You mark the chambers. Then go for the arch of aorta. You mark the arch of the aorta. So this is the arching of the aorta. You mark the arch of the aorta. And then the mediastinum, the outer borders of the mediastinum. This is the mediastinum. So mediastinum should be sharp and should not be widened. Okay. Then you can mark the hilum of the limb. So this would be the hilum, and here this would be the hilar region. So the hilar region is usually fussy. The hilar regions. You should examine the hilar region. Okay. Then the cardiothoracic ratio. So cardiothoracic ratio is the comparison of the width of the cardium to the whole thorax. So this is the width of the cardium, and this is the width of the thorax. Okay. The ratio between these two is called the cardiothoracic ratio. So normally the cardiothoracic ratio, the width of the heart should be less than 50%, or 50% or less than 50% of the total lung field. So if it is more than that, it suggests some kind of cardiomegaly. Okay. This concludes the C section. Then the D. D stands for diffusion. Sorry, the D stands for diaphragm. D stands for diaphragm plus the gastric air bubbles. So you should mark the right and left hemidiaphragms. The right and left hemidiaphragm should be marked, and usually the right sided is at a higher level than the left side. That's the normal. And sometimes below the left side you will get a air shadow. You will get a air shadow. This is the gastric air shadow. Okay. So this is all about D. Then the E. E stands for effusion, and effusion is related to the pleura. So normally in the X-ray, pleura would not be visible because pleura is very thin. So but we can mark two things that are related to pleura. One is the costophrenic angle, then the cardiophrenic angle. So the pleura would be extending downwards, and this particular angle here, this angle, these angle are called the costophrenic angle, and this angle is called the cardiophrenic angle. So normally the costophrenic angle is sharp, but if there is some effusion, there would be blunting of the costophrenic angle. That suggests some kind of effusion, some kind of pleural diseases. Okay. Then lastly, F. F stands for the lung field. You should examine both the lung fields. So in the chest X-ray, even though we have taken a chest X-ray, we examine the lung field in the last, so that we should not miss on other abnormalities. So the lung field should be examined. Both the right and left side should be compared and examined from top to bottom. Okay. So this is the commonly used sequence to examine a chest X-ray. Okay. Thank you.